All right, we are here at the Bottle Shop and we're talking about pairing food and wine. This is something that is intimidating. Like, I know maybe whites go with fish, that's it. That's my entire knowledge. So, Tricia, how do we make the right decision about what to serve with our food? And how do you guys make that decision here when it comes to Mancys Italian?
So food pairing can be complicated. It can be as simplistic or as complicated as you as a consumer or who's serving it choose to make it. For the most part, we like to keep our food pairings as simple as possible for our customers, especially on the Mancys Italian menu. With the opening of the Bottle Shop and there being an almost endless selection, it's made it a lot easier for the restaurant to open up these windows. So in September, with the new menu in the Bottle Shop, we took a little bit of a new approach with the menu. So we have a lot of traditional Italian wines, which should obviously pair really well
Italian
with traditional
meal,
Italian
right?
food. But you always have a certain amount of customers that really just have an idea of what they want in wine, and you have to appeal to those customers on a wine list as well. So we have tried to cater a menu to both customers.
Okay. And so what's the, give us a little bit of insight in how you do pair those things, because you don't want something that's overwhelming.
Right.
There's a lot of things that go into it.
There's a couple of schools of thought as far as food and wine pairing go. One is contrasting the flavors of the food and wine, and one is complementing them. Most people like complementing. Consumers as a whole prefer that the body and the flavors in their wine complement the body and the flavors in their food. So, for example, a classic complementary pairing would be a steak with a Cabernet. Those are both big, full-bodied, full-flavored.
A bold flavor for both.
Food, yes.
But pasta's a little bit of a different story.
Pasta is a little bit of a different story because pasta totally relies on what you dress it with. So, we have our signature dish is a spicy pasta with seafood. That's a little bit harder to pair with. So really some of the best pairings with that dish are wines with a little more sweetness, actually.
To counteract some of the spiciness.
Yes.
Okay. And when we come in to have a meal here, the staff can help us make sure that we're maybe steering us in the right direction?
Absolutely. We spent a lot of time training the staff this summer, getting ready for, this broadening our horizons with our menu and our wine list.
So they're super well versed in what are the options for people.
They are a well versed staff.
So when you sit down and order your meal, do you ask, as a customer, what should we ask? What should help me?
So even if you order wine before a meal, always take your server's recommendations. They get to taste the wine. They know what's good right now.
Okay.
You would ask them about meal specials, trust them about your wine specials as well. Once you've chosen your meal, if you have an idea of how you typically like your wine, let your server know, I really like a dry white, but this is what I'm having. Does that work? What works?
So definitely ask the questions because they really know what's available. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk to the chef. So Tricia, lead the way. So we talked about how to get your good pairing with your meal that you're having at Mancys Italian, and now we've gone to the real expert, Chef Steve Smith, executive chef. So the server is the key to making sure we have that really good pairing for our dinner or our lunch, but we want to talk about the pasta a little bit here at the restaurant because it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, so we're spending about 40 to 50 hours a week making our bread and our pasta in-house. I really wanted to emphasize the different kinds of dough that you can make during this process. So we actually have two different kinds. The first one that I'm going to kind of be demonstrating is extruded pasta dough. We're making rigatoni, bucatini, cassarecci, all in-house, and it's just a very basic dough. The semolina and water is the only ingredients. It's pretty precise. We actually go by grams and kilograms for this recipe.
So you have a consistent product at the end.
Correct.
Okay.
And the dough's a little bit more of a crumble. It's not what everybody thinks about with the egg pasta dough, where you have a nice pasta ball, and then it just kind of gets extruded, and you cut it to your length and portion
Okay.
it out to your weight.
Well, let's take a look. All right, so this is the finished product. You saw a chef make these noodles, this pasta, and you do the meatball, you do the red sauce. This is just makes me so happy. This is a fantastic meal. This will make you just, I don't know, it's just like so comfortable. But we've got a different pasta then. So these pasta noodles are your longer, and they're a little bit grainier, you were saying, but this is a little bit more a smoother dough. Talk about what you've got here.
So, as I was mentioning before, we also make an egg pasta dough to complement our extruded pasta. So this egg pasta is a little bit more what people expect out of pasta. So we're making some of our long noodles out of this are fettuccine, spaghetti, linguine. We roll out sheets, kind of leave it in this state right here for our lasagnas. And we also started making thick egg noodles for our chicken noodle soup.
So we saw you kind of really stretched out the dough, and it ran through there a few times with the pasta maker, really, and then you've cut it into these 6 sheets essentially. So what's the next thing that you do?
So from here, we kind of portion it out. So these are our portions for our pasta dough, and from there we go to the cutter, put the cutter on that we need, whether it be spaghetti, linguine, or fettuccine, and then just cut it out. Toss it in semolina so it doesn't really stick together, and then portion it out and freeze it to make sure it doesn't age at all.
So show us the next thing that you're going to do here. I could just watch that all day. That is so cool. And then what dishes would we be ordering for this type of pasta?
So spaghetti comes as one of our sides for our chicken parmesan. You can add it onto one of our steaks, and we also serve it with our carbonara. Our carbonara is a little bit more traditional carbonara, so we use guanciale, which is pork jowl, and toss that with a little bit of egg batter that we make with pecorino and grana.
So why going to all this trouble? Why are you going to all this trouble?
I think it really separates us from any kind of competition in town. The time that goes into this, not a lot of people want to spend the time to do it. And I think it just, it's all about the consumer. I think it's just a better product. And I think, the end result is what people want.
And it's a beautiful menu, a lot of new items, a lot of new things when it comes to the pairings with the wine. So if you haven't been to Mancys Italian in the last 3 or 4 months, you're missing a lot because there's a lot of new things for people to experience.
Correct.
Thank you, Chef. All right, I'm going to eat something, a lot of something.